the 9th day of Teves, the day that Ezra died, and the 10th day of Teves, the day that Nebuchadnezzar placed a siege, a 30-month siege around Yerushalayim, which ultimately ended up with the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash. And we explained what the connection of those three events is. A second explanation of the theme of those three is that when the Torah was translated into Greek, all of a sudden the Torah became accessible to all. At some level, till then, the Torah belonged to us. It was something that we learned, governed our way of living, our lifestyle, our values, and it was unique to us, and it kept us different than everyone. We weren't similar to all the other nations. Ezra was someone that the Navi tells us, the Sefer Ezra tells us, that people were assimilating. In the times of Ezra, Jews were assimilating. It's explicit. No one was hiding from that. And Ezra came and brought all the people together. But the wall between us and the other nations were falling apart. On the 8th day, when the Torah was translated, everything was open. There was no longer a wall around us. There was nothing keeping us insular. Everything was accessible. Our same law book was accessible to everyone. During Ezra's time, people were assimilating. There was no breach. There was no wall around between us and the other nations. And Ezra was trying to bring us back. When Ezra died, we lost that force, we lost that power to keep us separate, keep us unique. One of the reasons the first Beis HaMikdash was destroyed was because of Avodah Zarah. How could it be that Jewish people were worshiping other nations' gods and idols? And how could that happen? How could it come to that? Obviously, it's because we are influenced from the other nations. And when Hashem sees that we're not keeping who we are, we're not proud of who we are, we're not confident in who we are, we're not acting how we're supposed to be, but we're moving and we're mixing with everyone else, we're not allowing a wall to be surrounding ourselves. So then Hashem sets it up that there's a wall placed around us. And in the times of Nebuchadnezzar, the wall was there. Anti-Semitism is a result of when we start to mix in. We don't see that you can be proud to be a Jew. We have what to offer. We have what to give. There's the beauty of Yiddishkeit. People run away from it. They feel like they know they have to be like everyone else. They can't be who they are. We don't feel good in our own skin. When that happens, Hashem reminds us who we are. Hashem says, look, we're going to give you difficulties. Anti-Semitism is rampant right now, all over the place. It always is, but now it's extreme. It reminds us who we are. That you might want to not be who you are. You might want to try to adapt the values of other people. You might want to party like other people. You might want to dress like other people. You might want to speak like other people. Hashem reminds us at the end of the day that we're unique, we have a mission, and we have to realize who we are. And we have to be proud of that and happy about that. And when we're not, then unfortunately we have tragedies, murders, bad-mouthing us, hurting us. It reminds us who we are, to make us proud and to strengthen us from within. Rav Biermacher was someone who everyone who knew him, you look for pictures of him, he was always with a smile, tremendous simcha sachayim. His learning was with a simcha, everything was just happy. He didn't come from a rabbinic background. He didn't come from the observant background that he lived and that he raised his family. But he saw the truth and he was proud of who he was, and he pushed through very, very, very difficult steps in his life in order to be successful, always with simcha, with a tremendous amount of happiness. And all of his Talmidim, anyone that was around him, were glued to him. I remember the day that I walked out, but it was every day that way. The last day that I saw him, he used to give a shir in the alcove around the table. All the Talmidim were huddled around him. That was the way he gave shir. It was a closeness of everyone feeling his proud, exciting energy that he had. And we have to try to take that into our own lives. We have to be proud of who we are. We have to make sure we identify who we are. We don't have to borrow. The way we celebrate an Oneg Shabbos shouldn't be the way other people party. The way we speak should not be the other way. We have to be strong and proud of who we are. It's a very, very important lesson that we have to take with us at this time. And Be'ez Hashem, when we do that, we won't have the anti-Semitism. We won't have those hardships. In this week's parsha, Yaakov blesses Yehuda by saying, Yadcha v'oref ayvecha. Your hand will be in your enemy's neck. Rashi says this came true in the days of David HaMelech, where David HaMelech beat Goliath, he beat his enemies, the enemies ran away from him. Their necks were towards them, they were running away, they were afraid. Yehuda was powerful, David HaMelech was powerful. He was able to conquer the enemies. But there's another way that you can take over someone's back. When someone turns around, you see his back. The other way of seeing someone's back is when they bow down towards you and they reveal from the front their back. When we try not just to be proud of who we are and to keep who we are and to celebrate who we are, but we also influence other people. We're Kiddush Hashem. We walk around and other people learn from us. And they say, wow, look how he speaks. Wow, look how he spends his Shabbos. Wow, look how he spends his vacation. Look at the way he dresses. Look at the way he spends his free time. Look at that. Wow, I want that. I want to learn from that. I want my kids to be like that. We influence outside. Other people are bowing towards us because they're seeing what the truth is. So that's another way of taking over. And Yehuda's descendants, the Malchus, the kings of the Jewish people, that was the goal, to try to influence out, try to spread the light. Rav Biermacher, that's what he did. He didn't just see the beauty of Torah, get excited about it and say he's going to raise a family that way. He was Moser Nefesh to teach Torah. That was his whole life, to teach Talmidim, spread the light, let other people know about the beauty that he discovered. And that's how he ended his life. The last thing that he did is unbelievable. He gave shir. That's an unbelievable thing. And minutes later, unfortunately, he was stabbed. And while every sorrow that happens to Jewish people affects us, but when it happens to someone from within our immediate family, from someone that we know, from someone from our yeshiva, it's a stronger message to all of us. So we should all take this message and should be an Ili Neshama to Rav Biermacher, that we should take on something in our own lives that maybe we weren't always so comfortable about, because what are they going to say? What's he going to think? It's not the cool way, it's not this, but we should do it because we know it's the right thing, and that's how a Jew is supposed to be. And then we should also make sure that we're always a shining light to many other people, to inspire others so they could see the beauty that we ourselves are experiencing. And if we take on those two ideas, Be'ez Hashem, we'll be zocha, we shouldn't have any tzaros, no more anti-Semitism, and we'll be zocha to see the Geula Shleima b'mheira v'yameinu.